If you feel like you or any of your peers are severely struggling with mental health, please feel free to contact any Hope Squad member. You can find this information in room 1C06.
The suicide prevention hotline can be called at 800-273-8255. There is hope.
Good morning, Choctaw. I'm Sam.
And I'm Alan.
And you're watching Tribal News. On this week's show, we'll be covering the Shoe Foundation and yoga. Next, we have the Shoe Foundation, a center for student engineering and STEM innovation.
What we do here is we spend time programming, designing, and building robots used in both practical and non-practical applications, such as electric cars for off-roading purposes, or such as competition, like the FRC program. Well, they offer a lot of different classes at the Shoe Center, ranging from entrepreneurship to laser cutting to 3D printing, just a wide range of STEM classes, basically. As of this year, we're doing mainly two types of robots. We're doing a shoe-inspired project and the FRC team. The shoe-inspired project for this year is to build an electric car that is autonomous and is off-road capable. For FRC, we basically get a challenge down from the FRC heads every year that basically tells us to play basketball, throw a hoop into a ring, run around a course for about 15 minutes. Just, I don't want to say basic stuff like that, but that is the general gist.
At the Shoe Foundation, I've accomplished a lot of coding, really. I wrote most of the code last year for our robot to get the controller compatible with the robot, to be able to make it run like our own little car. I was introduced to the Shoe Foundation by Lynn after I asked him about it, because I knew that he was on the robotics team and I wanted to join. I chose to come here because I've had a hobby in programming for a long time, and the robotics team is a good place to use my skills and helps other people too, knowing that I'm useful to them. And I try to come here as often as I can, Tuesdays, Thursdays after school, 2 to 5. Sometimes we come here on Saturdays, and those are fun days.
Thanks for strengthening Choctaw Nation, Shoe Foundation. Speaking of strength, if you're looking for a fun way to strengthen your muscles and your mind, consider trying yoga.
The name of my studio is Dragonfly Yoga. We're located in downtown Fort Walton Beach. A healthy activity for teenagers after school would be the yoga practice, and here's one of the reasons why. Kids are really concentrating in school. They're having to be still. They're having to really follow a lot of directions, typically. So coming into the yoga class, they have the internal discipline to follow along, but there's also a lot of organic opportunity while they're on their mat to kind of be within that boundary, that little safety zone, but still be able to sort of come out of the postures when they need to, go back into them, stop, look around, even ask questions. So there's more freedom, I guess, on a yoga mat, and typically more freedom in a yoga class for that person to explore how they're feeling about things and how they're negotiating the space around them. Here at Dragonfly, the prices for college students is $10, $12 for anybody in a more advanced program than just the normal college. And then for kids, 16 to 18, it's $5. A fair amount of teenagers that come in here and come into the hot yoga studio. And what they say when they leave is that they just feel so relaxed. They get that excess energy out and the nervous energy. So I can always tell when there's the big testing going on, because we want more kids that come into the yoga studio, because they've learned through their parents who have brought them that, wow, this really works. I'm going to sleep really good tonight before I go in to do those tests and so forth. It's pretty neat. Most come at night but we do have quite a bit of activity on the weekends as well. You can purchase online. Just go online and put your information in, become a member of the studio, and then can make a purchase there. Or you can just come in and purchase the class, talk with the teacher. If you are underage, you need to come in with a parent so they can sign a form that says that they are fine with you coming to class. And once we have that form, they can, if you're 16 and over, they can drop you off. Right? Of course, if you're 18 and over, you're the adult. So yeah, you should just come, try it out. It's amazing. Oh, yoga and athletes, boy, what a great combination. So for an athlete, they're building their lung capacity, they're building their muscle body, they're strengthening their bones. And what the yoga does is it works with the connective tissue between all of those things, which affects the bones, affects the joints, and affects the muscles. So when you're working with the yoga, you're creating a lengthening and a quieting in the tissue, but also space. One of the other things that I wanted to mention was that I have experience in is helping kids with the yoga practice, helping them again with the testing and with the anxiety that they have of just even being teenagers. Something about coming onto the mat, something about also coming into a practice where somebody guides you, and that can be online too. You can have some amazing yoga classes online by yourself in your room with your yoga mat. It is teaching you the power of your own presence, and that dissipates the anxiety.
Dragonfly Yoga and Hot Yoga are located on 184 Brook Street. Join the studio for some stress-free exercise. Mark your calendars. The second annual College and Career Fair will be held on Saturday, February 26th at 8:30 a.m. at the Beachside Community Church, located between Choctaw and SK8. Students, be sure to check your school email for early graduation information. Updates can be found on Choctaw's Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Winter sports are still in season. Basketball, soccer, weightlifting, and wrestling deserve your support. You can purchase tickets on GoFans or through posters by scanning the QR codes located throughout the school.
With the fall sports season all wrapped up, let's take a look back on how each of our teams performed and the feats they've achieved. Starting with the pride of Joe Etheridge Stadium, the football team. From the first game win against Pace, the toppling triumph against the Vikings, and the final crushing victory against the Pensacola Crusaders, the efforts of the players and Coach Beasley led to an overall record of 6-4 and their first winning season since 2015. Now let's move on to the Lady Indians of the volleyball team, who played an outstanding season ending with a 21-8 record and advancing as far as regional semifinals, with seniors Layla Little and Carly Cooper being selected to play in the East team for the Pensacola Sports All-Stars match. Running on over to our next sport, we have cross country. State your name again?
Dahlia Arizari. For cross country, our season starts at the beginning of the school year, but at the end of each school year is when we start conditioning for it, and it starts at 6 o'clock in the morning every day during the summer. And during the school season, we have it after school every day, and at practice, obviously we run, but we do speed work, which is a lot of short distance, like 100s, 200s, 400s, meters, and we do tempo, which is like 1000s or 1300s, and then we do our long runs almost every other week, I think, and it's 8+ miles. I'm really proud of our team this year because the girls made it to state and we placed 9th, and it was a lot of hard work that we put into it to get there. I hope that next year we can continue on to state again and place higher.
On top of making state, seniors Chloe Fernander and Dina Botino were chosen to be part of the North Region team for the FACA All-Star Classic, where they were the reigning champions. Swinging in from the fairway, it's Choctaw's golf team.
I'm Derek Young. I'm a senior at Choctawhatchee High School. So basically this year we went to a few tournaments and played in quite a few matches where we play 9 holes in the matches, and we walk 18 holes in the tournaments. And we did pretty decent this year. I'm not going to be here next year, but I hope we do better. I feel like the highlight of my season was playing really well at Rocky Bayou Golf Course. I started off pretty bad, but I ended up shooting really well. Practices were pretty chill. It was just a great environment to be in. We went to practice. We had fun while playing golf. There's not really much you could ask for if you enjoy playing golf.
Additionally, senior Madison Howell was part of First Tee's Drive Your Future Academy, being one of the 24 girls handpicked from across the country to train in leadership development and attend the Solheim Cup. And finally, let's take a dive into the swim team.
I'm Max Wise, 9th grade. Well, the swim season was overall pretty good. Started pretty early before school started during the summer, 4 o'clock in the morning. Practices, I'd say they were definitely challenging, but I wouldn't say they were crazy hard. But if you were not into it and you weren't motivated, you definitely weren't swimming your heart out, and you weren't really getting into it. Practices, they were fun most of the time, and we had definitely was a workout.
I'm Zach Smith. I'm a freshman and I swam for Choctaw. For me, the swim season has gone absolutely perfect. I've improved a lot over the season and made it to regionals as a freshman, which is really good. Favorite part of the season? Shaving my legs. It was amazing.
Senior Landon Campbell had a particularly good season, getting to represent Choctaw on the 100-yard backstroke at state championships.
That's all for today, Choctaw.
Till next time.
Till next time.
This concludes our broadcast day.